Amazing that you get to go to Florida. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Bala. I'm a cloud solutions architect with Microsoft. I pretty much work on that digital transformation side, anything that does with industrial IoT, machine learning, AI, predominantly multiple industry, but I have a big background in manufacturing industry, and we'll talk about what we are doing and things like that. Today, it's not going to be demo. It's about our strategy, what we are going to do, and I'm going to talk about like what are the areas that we are trying to work on, right? Just to start with, first we need to understand the challenges in manufacturing. Manufacturing has gone up and down. We went from industry 3.0 now to industry 4.0. And we are also now looking at industry 5.0. That's the next gen that is going to come. But let's talk about what is industry 4.0 doing. There is a lot of challenges, especially in the supply chain. Supply chain is just not a small area from manufacturing. It's going to cover the entirety of it. We'll talk about that. So if you look at the entire end-to-end visibility is one challenge, and then the customer demands. The more important challenges, like they have like a lot of other systems and how all of those things can come together or talk to each other, and how are the business models going to change based on customers' demands these days. People are looking at like people-centric manufacturing, which means like as a human, I should be able to order a pack of Coke, and it'll be produced for Bala and sent to Bala, kind of thing. So it's like we call it like manufacturing quantity by one. It's like it's a challenging thing in terms of like doing it fast-paced, continuous single product production, right? And also figure out how to continue with the business. Now, let's talk about what we see in the marketplace. There is a lot of things happening, especially in the digital world. As you know, it with the COVID pandemic, everything actually went upside downwards. So now there is a trend of like figuring out what is going to happen with the supply chain, and most of the leaders are actually looking at like, okay, how are we going to adapt a new business model? How is the shift going to happen with more and more digitization is coming in, and how can they be agile to change for the new business approach that they're going to come, because they probably have to work with a lot of partners and assets. Assets supply chain itself is a big behemoth. So this poses a new challenges now. Now let's talk about what is Microsoft vision. Our vision, what Microsoft trying to do is like we're trying to build a platform and tools that suppliers and manufacturers can actually use, and at the same time become a data-driven organization to take decisions based on data, and also to drive AI insights in your decision-making process. So we kind of look at it like how to build a knowledge worker concept. So AI is not looking at replacing them. It's about giving them how providing insights to the humans to take better decision. That is exactly what Microsoft focus has always been. So let's look at like what is supply chain future, but let's look at what is now. If you look at the left hand side, that is current. Like all of them, you have different operations. You buy from different products. You manufacture. You send it to warehouses, and then it reaches the customer. And you have to source it, and you can source it from different countries, and a lot of logistics are involved. The new way of thinking is completely different. There is going to be multiple tier suppliers for you, and each supplier should talk to each other. The suppliers could be their own manufacturing plant, because traceability is a huge concept here. Um, how are all of these going to come together in a common place, and how they can actually interact? There is nothing. I mean, especially in the supply chain and manufacturing world, we can't say that one software can do everything. But we're also not looking at like one software is going to replace everything. We are looking at platforms that how everything can come and integrate it, and you can actually work with the systems and be more productive. That is exactly our vision has always been. And if you actually look at this, we are why Microsoft is a great question, because we have the tool. We are a tools company, and we also I've been in manufacturing for a long time, and also we are also a manufacturer. As you see, we are manufacturing Surface products and gaming devices, hardware devices, and we got out of the phone business. That was good. But we are innovating everywhere. We are adapting to what we see in the market and change. And we provide platforms that can create impact. So for example, if you look at it, we have these three already baked product. Dynamics 365 is kind of like most of your business process management. 365 is your office collaborations and interaction. LinkedIn provides you the sales. Now on next to that, what we provide is we provide GitHub, which is basically our collaboration tool for source code repository and things like that. And the Power Platform provides you the low code, easy apps development, integrating with all the existing sources that you have. And then on top of that, we also provide you the Microsoft Azure. Azure provides your gateway to analytics, AI, and things like that. Which allows you to extend and take more intelligent decisions. Now, on top of this, we also cover security, management, compliance, so you can have a much secured platform to work around with, right? And we spend a lot of money in cybersecurity. That's close to more than $1 billion a year that we spend on it. That's all good, but let's see what the real deal is going to be. So our goal is like, so we know that we have so many different softwares and services and things like that, and you're going to have in your company multiple places where things are scattered across. We want to help augment that and help you add to existing investments that you have done. So it's a clear, you can see the left and the right hand side. Like you have the standard sales operations, and then the next one is you have the more of your manufacturing side on the right hand side. So if you look at it, all these covers supply chain, right? I mean, you're doing planning, you're doing demand forecasting, financial planning, inventory. You have to know what capacity to manufacture. And if you look at the right hand side, it's all your order management, production, replenishment. So you need both of them for you guys to be successful. Now, you also need a platform that can actually not replace, but can augment and connect and work with yours. And that's where Microsoft, we are looking at like, okay, how do we bring this thing? Now, each of all of these rounds that you're seeing, like supply planning or demand forecasting, there are a bunch of partner products. They're all awesome. Our goal is to bring everything together. That's what that industry cloud concept is also working. So we'll bring that everything in one place where you guys can actually pull them from a marketplace and use them. And at the same time, you can leverage new technologies, and we will have the integration points for it. That's basically our goal of like how we are covering the lifecycle management. So we'll help you in all the phases like planning, respond, collaborate, analyze, all of these phases. Now, what have we done? So if you look at it in supply chain, when you say like, okay, why do we need all these things, right? It's a fair question. What are we going after? We are always going after productivity, efficiency, customer satisfaction, and those are the most KPI any business are going to go with. Now, with the challenges of interacting with so many different systems coming together, what does this resilient supply chain does to you? So it can maximize your asset performance. You can come up with intelligent manufacturing operations. You can put AI into play, and not in terms of automate, but in terms of automation and also to provide you insights on it. You can make it much more agile fulfillment and optimize your AI ops process in there. And then you can build your last one is we call it supply chain tower that basically allows you to build like the entire supply chain planning process across different segments. So these are some things, some of the details. I'll share you guys the slides. All of these, we have done it with multiple customers. For example, in the asset management OEE phase, if you enable industrial IoT, it becomes your enabler for you, but it actually allows you to know what is really happening. And then you can apply AI, which allows you to optimize and reduce cost. And we have done that in multiple places. Now, in terms of like manufacturing operations, if you look at it, we are after the circular economy. And not only that, we are also looking at sustainability in the operations as well. But with the dynamics guides and teams, and also with HoloLenses, you can actually have collaborative environments to get things done much faster and a quicker managed. It's all about like how agile you can be and make sure that, and to enable your assets uptime. Uptime is the key that we, at least in the manufacturing side, everybody is going after. Now, this is an interesting area. This is like order fulfillment. Of course, we wanted to make sure that we have enough stocks and the order is leaving at the right time. We wanted to know if it is going to be delayed up in advance, so we can bring stocks from other places and at least get it going, or at least we can be proactive in terms of like telling the customers that hey, it's going to delay for X, Y, and Z. This is completely tied to your CSAT score because customer satisfaction is one important thing that we always look at. Now comes the other part of it. This is the supply chain one. So supply chain is always about analyzing data and figuring it out. So that's why we are building we call it the supply control tower. It's like building a digital twin and then associating the digital twin with all the assets and figuring out like bringing in technologies like AI to figure out like, okay, how are you going to best efficiently manufacture, source, and also plan your production process. That's the idea that Microsoft is after. It could be Microsoft tools, and it also could be, we are also looking at like putting third-party tools and building that entire ecosystem. So this is our answer to what we are looking at for resilient supply chain. Now, the previous also all fall under part of this, like demand management will tell you like how much orders you have. Inventory management is telling you like how much we have produced, which you need the operations. And supply management is like, this is the key part. Supply management in this world, especially with the COVID, and we had so much logistics issues these days. How do we source from different areas, like different countries, or not just relying on one particular country kind of thing, right? So who can source it faster and better for us to improve the supply chain? Now let's talk about, Ron, are we doing good in terms of time? Okay, so I'll give you a few examples. I won't bring too much of it. These are some of the companies that we actually work with, and we have done different parts of the things in different customers. Like Kruger uses the guides, which is like extremely helpful for fixing any issues in the factory. If something goes down, the guide actually tells you like what needs to be repaired. If there is a question, they can easily call through a Teams call and talk to an engineer remotely and then fix it instead of waiting for someone to schedule and come. Things like that are always innovation and helps you, right? So does Breville. We use the Dynamics 365 intelligent order management, which has like the AI capability in them to be ability to optimize the order and fulfill them. So these are some of the examples that we have done. Now you can ask like, okay, why do we all have to do this, right? I mean, all these is going to equate to some business value, and these are some of these that we've gotten from the market. Like you can have 3% improvements in plant reliability. In some places, we have improved more than 50, 60% in OEE. Um, Sometimes the supply chain, if you don't deliver in certain time, you might get a lot of penalties to be paid. So these systems can allow you to take the data, make intelligence out of it, and be proactive. That is the key that we are going after. Now, you probably all know that showing this business value is one. In manufacturing, we also have another area where personally I've been very much involved in is the skills gap. There's going to be a huge skill gap that you're going to see how like in manufacturing where the people start retiring, there is also a gap. There is one part is technology, and then there is one part of you need people. So we are trying to bridge that gap by coming up, doing we did a prototype here in UWM in Milwaukee, where industry, technology, and the education came together to build, to figure out how can we train new people with the new skills and make manufacturing again cool. So what we did is like with the partners of ours, we created a test bed. This is a real factory that sits in the university where students get to play around with it. They can cover the entire supply chain from order management all the way to product delivery. This is a 3D. I'm not going to bore you guys here. I'll share the video if you guys want. This is up and running. It is actually a hybrid, modern, smart connected factory. It has all the components that needs to be in the plant floor, plus it also connected to the cloud. And we actually send data to the cloud as well. So here is a simple architecture that we did. And student gets to experiment and take a look and see like, okay, what is happening in the system. Of course, on the edge, you have the edge has got its own MES, and we have the industrial data center as well over there. So you can see how a normal factory has become a cloud-enabled factory. So this is all happens with partner products and Microsoft all coming together. Not only that, we are also doing some more courses. We have a digital manufacturing leadership course for folks who might think that the leadership wanted to know how to implement the new technology and drive business value. You can come and take a course. We also doing Azure for manufacturing, and we also have a basic Azure for manufacturing course. Those are also available to take. We are also doing a AI in business course in the Lubar School as well for the business folks to understand how AI can impact. So these are all part of what Microsoft is doing. I hope didn't bore you, all of you, but that's pretty much what I had in mind. Questions, thoughts, concerns?